Breaking news, a Porsche convertible crashes into another car to end a wild pursuit. That chase lasted for hours.
And it finally came to an end in Burbank. That's where CBS 2's Rachel Kim is live with the very latest tonight. Rachel?
Yeah, Jeff and Pat, this chase all came to an end behind me down this dark alley near where the suspect lives. Let's take a look now at how this all started. Now, the CHP and Burbank police say the original want on the Porsche convertible was no plates on vehicle, then reckless driving. There was a male driver and a female passenger. At times, the male driver waved and gestured out of the car. The woman seemed to bob her head and dance. She also appeared to reach under her seat and in the back seat at one point. Now, the duo took authorities all over the Southland tonight. First, south on the 101 in Hollywood, then to the 5, all the way down to Orange County, then to the 57 North, up to the 60 West, next back to the 101 where it got off in Toluca Lake. It ended here when the driver crashed his car at Alameda and Cordova. The two foot-bailed and left the car rolling, but eventually the man and woman were taken into custody. Here's what the male driver had to say as he was being led away.
Jesus Christ is amazing, and he has saved my life like he will right now.
It's unstable. He preaches Bible scriptures, and then when he's not doing that, he's threatening people. They've called the police on him many times.
The CHP told us on scene that the two appeared to be under the influence of something, but fortunately, no other injuries in all of this. Reporting live tonight in Burbank, Rachel Kim, CBS 2 News.
Come and watch a movie with me. American Beauty or Bruce Almighty, that's groovy. Just come and move closer to me.
Condolences are pouring in tonight for rapper and producer Mac Miller. The 26-year-old was found dead today of an apparent drug overdose. CBS 2's Greg Mills is live at Studio City outside the rapper's home. Greg?
And Pat, take a look at this big crowd here. Lots of fans here. What's really impressed me tonight is the neighbors. Neighbors loved him. One guy said, you know what, I'm too old. I've never heard his music, but what a great neighbor. What a great kid. In fact, the best kid you'll ever meet. Fans and neighbors leaving flowers, candles, notes on rapper Mac Miller's doorstep. Those close to him struggling with the fact that he is gone at the age of 26.
I'm shocked, honestly.
Paris Levy lives next door, stunned to find out Mac Miller died here just before noon. TMZ reporting it was a drug overdose. On social media, many fans blame Miller's death on ex-girlfriend Ariana Grande. Sarah Moore is a big fan and got to meet both Mac Miller and Grande.
They just obviously weren't the best for each other, but I feel like people are taking it out a little too hard on her. It's unnecessary.
Grande was in concert 2 days ago in London. So far, she hasn't written anything on social media regarding Mac Miller's death. Fans we spoke with said they could relate to Miller's lyrics because they were so personal. Substance abuse and depression.
He saved me in many ways that I couldn't save myself. He helped me with my depression, my anxieties.
He just dropped a new album, Swimming, and was going on tour next month. In fact, his last tweets Thursday were about that, saying simply, I just want to go on tour. And he was scheduled to appear at the Greek Theater on Halloween night. Reporting live from Studio City, Greg Mills, CBS 2 News. Jeff?
Greg, thank you. Only on 2 tonight, an Orange County man attacked out of nowhere inside of a CVS. CBS 2 Orange County reporter Stacey Butler is live in Tustin right now with more about the victim. Stacey.
Oh, Jeff, this bizarre attack happened in this CVS right behind me. Police are calling it unprovoked and violent. Tonight, they have beefed up patrols in the area, and they want to find this guy. You're looking at security tape of a man walking into this Tustin CVS wearing a red ball cap and a backpack around 7 o'clock Wednesday night. Watch what he does at the end of the aisle.
And all of a sudden, in a split second, someone turned around and gave a full swing right into my stomach. At that point, I fell into the racks, which is where my arm is all cut up.
This Tustin homeowner doesn't want to give his name, but he wants others to be careful. In the last place, he thought he had to be on guard, shopping for a greeting card at his neighborhood pharmacy.
I mean, if there was a confrontation or something, I could understand, but, you know, we had no confrontation. I've never seen the man before.
The victim says aside from a few cuts, he was okay. He tried to yell for the man to stop, but police say The man kept on walking out of CVS toward Kohl's, then disappeared. Police are looking for the suspect. They're concerned his bizarre behavior could escalate, and the next victim may not be so lucky.
Very lucky, yeah. That he, particularly for someone that age, to only walk away with minor injuries. This guy had a backpack, so you never know what's in there. I mean, it obviously looked like it had items in it. So who's to say what he did or didn't have in that backpack that could have been used against that guy?
Once it happened, he walked away, and he didn't show any knife or any gun or anything. So I'm very fortunate, yes. Anything could have happened, and I was lucky that it was just a punch.
When the suspect is caught, he won't just face charges for assault and battery, but elder abuse charges as well. If you have any information, Tustin Police would like to hear from you. Back to you guys in the studio.
Stacey, thank you. Elon Musk took a puff on a podcast.
But now Tesla is taking a hit for it.
You probably can't because of stockholders, right?
I mean, it's legal, right?
It's totally legal.
Well, on the Joe Rogan Experience, Rogan told Musk he's smoking tobacco and marijuana.
Yeah, so in response, Tesla's stock today fell 6%. KNX 1070's Motec on the money host says it's the company's worst day in 2 years.
He might have violated Tesla company policy by smoking whatever that was and drinking, since the policy prohibits employees from showing up at work under the influence of whatever.
Yeah, Musk has had a string of questionable actions lately. He recently cried during an interview, talked about taking Tesla private, and accused a Thai rescue diver of being a pedophile.
Well, President Barack Obama is breaking with long-standing tradition by publicly criticizing his successor.
And President Trump is blasting right back. CBS 2's Lori Perez joins us now with more on the dueling attacks, Lori.
Well, Pat and Jeff, the way these two presidents, past and present, are so publicly taking shots at each other is almost unheard of. It really breaks long-standing tradition and etiquette among the men who have held the office. But today, former President Obama said he had to break his political silence because he says so much is at stake.
What happened to the Republican Party?
Former President Obama wasn't pulling any punches as he entered the midterm election season with an unusually public and searing attack on his successor, saying President Trump warms to Russia yet has Americans pushing each other apart, pointing to his controversial response to last year's violent protests in Charlottesville, Virginia.
How hard can that be? Saying that Nazis are bad.
The former president also brought up the recent New York Times op-ed written by an unnamed, reportedly top Trump official, alleging a resistance within the White House protecting against Trump's worst ideas.
They're not doing us a service by actively promoting 90% of the crazy stuff that's coming out of this White House and then saying, don't worry, we're preventing the other 10%.
At a speech in North Dakota, President Trump said he watched Obama's rebuke, but not for long.
I watched it, but I fell asleep.
Maybe the Obama critique didn't get to him, but sources say the op-ed has, telling CNN the president is obsessed with knowing who wrote it. Speaking to reporters on Air Force One, Trump said he wants Attorney General Jeff Sessions to find the author, calling it a matter of national security.
Supposing I have a high-level national security meeting, and he has got a clearance, and he goes into a high-level meeting concerning China or Russia or North Korea or something. I don't want him in those meetings.
We shall see if the barbs continue tomorrow when former President Obama will be in Anaheim at a campaign rally for 7 congressional candidates looking to flip Republican-held districts. And this could really be a critical visit. Lots of these races, many of them are thought to be toss-ups, and President Obama is really trying to get the vote out there, expecting hundreds of people to be there.
But what a precursor with this speech that he gave.
Oh, yeah.
That's getting a lot of press.
Everybody will be holding their breath for tomorrow to see what he says.
We'll have a reporter covering it tomorrow.
That's right.
All right. Thanks, Lori.
Thank you.
Well, the so-called Dine Dash suspect faces more charges. He's accused of going on dates with a number of women around L.A. County, ordering expensive meals, then skipping out, leaving those women with the bill. Paul Gonzalez was slapped with 4 new felony counts of extortion. However, 2 other charges were thrown out at today's hearing. Still, Gonzalez faces 11 felonies, including grand theft.
3 women right now dead after a head-on crash in Riverside County. It happened on Highway 74 in Lake Elsinore near the El Toro cutoff. Investigators say a woman driving a Honda veered into the wrong lane and hit another car, but they don't know why the car drifted into the opposing traffic.
A patient called to On Your Side when he received a massive bill for an MRI.
What did you think when you opened that bill?
It's shocking.
Still ahead, what you can learn from his frustrating experience.
And I'm Jeff Nguyen, live in Pasadena, where a former police lieutenant will soon become a convicted felon. The story straight ahead.
Hey everybody, welcome to the weekend. Been warming up. We'll have your forecast on the way.
And here's a look at the guests tonight on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert.